What are the questions on?
It's a mix.
Okay. You're not going to tell me or anything?
No.
There you go.
Always. G'day legends, welcome back to Mikey Talk. Today we have episode 3 and a very special episode because it is our first guest appearance. I'll be bringing you PEZ, who is my good mate, an incredible DJ. He is the reason that I fell in love with dance music, and we're running an event this weekend, so I thought it'd be the best time to bring him down. So here's PEZ. I'll put that with some clapping or something.
Hey mate, how are you? Go again.
Are you happy to be here?
Yeah, bloody stoked to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. I'm happy to have you.
Fuck yeah.
Alright, we're going to jump in.
Let's do it.
What was the first jungle record you ever purchased, and do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have all records that I've ever purchased. Because you never know if you're going to need them again in any moment in your life, kind of thing. First jungle record. Oh, that's a tough one. There's a record that was on it's like, I think it's an early 2000s record label. It's called Looney Tunes, and it had the same logo as the actual Looney Tunes logo, with these two kind of sketch bald head chavvy pommy lads on the sticker, and it was this like jazzy funk record. I think it was made in about 2002, and it was the first one that I bought, and I bought it purely, I didn't listen to the track, I just looked at the sticker on the record, and I was like, damn, this is sick, this might sound good, and I just bought it without listening, put it on, and it was like the gateway into something like really special, I think, for me. Like the jungle records that I always look for, and even the D&B that I look for, has a lot of jazz, soul, hip-hoppy elements, and in that record it literally had it all. So I say, I don't remember the tune, but I remember it was on Looney Tunes. It was around early 2000s. I'll send it to you.
Where did the name Exit Speed come from?
So a couple of years ago, after one of our New Year's parties that we usually do, we were driving back from the Grampians, and I had the idea, because we had a chat about starting up the show, and I've always been procrastinating on it for a couple of years, being like, I want to do something on the radio, but never kind of had the drive to be able to do it myself. And I was like, damn, what name am I going to come up with? And I had a notes list on my phone, and in the notes list there was all these different single words that I'd been writing down for like a year potentially, and I scrapped the list, and we were driving home, my partner and I saw the sign on the road that said exit speed 80 kilometers, and I went, damn, you know what, that when you just say exit speed, it sounds kind of cool, like you're either going off the highway, going into a place where you're about to stop, or you're exiting to go onto another highway, so kind of thing. So it's a bit like a journey in a sense. So I thought exit speed was a good way to kind of name the show, or a good phrase to name the show, because it capitulates, is that the word?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, sums everything up in terms of, like, you can either be going 80 k's an hour, you can be going 200 k's an hour, but when you hit that sign you have to slow down, you have to keep on going. It doesn't really make a lot of sense when you link it to music. I just like the words. That's really a long-winded way of saying it was just a sign on the freeway.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
After running Exit Speed as an online radio show, why did you decide now was the time to bring it to a live venue?
Oh, good question, man. I think when you go or initiate something and start something up, if it's an online brand or just an endeavour that you've kind of got goals on, I think it's always about harnessing a community. And pretty quickly when I started the show, there were people that I'd never met before messaging me online, saying how much they like the show and they dig the designs and kind of the ethos of the show. And I remember we had a chat maybe at the end of last year, and I was kind of just like summing up all these connections that I'd made. I'd never met any of these people before. Some of them I have now, and they're absolute legends. And I'm keen to meet all the other people who've messaged me down the path as well. And it was just like an ability to go, hey, let's bring something to life to bring these people together, because we all have a common interest, we like something, and let's celebrate that. And with any natural progression, I guess, of a brand, you want to harness a community and get like-minded people in and around it. And I think having a live show, bringing it into a live venue, can allow that to happen, because people can mingle and you can just start something nice and organic from that. But I think without having the online show doing its thing for a year and a half beforehand, I don't think I could ever do the live show. Yeah.
Nice. How does it feel playing vinyl instead of digital?
It feels for me like a very natural thing, because the music that I really like to enjoy and listen to and I buy in terms of records, a lot of them have just been printed on vinyl. And then only of the last 10 years, when people have ripped them and then put it onto digital copies where you can buy off different ripping kind of platforms like SoulSeek and stuff, then those records get heard. But I like to keep to the true sense of why those tracks were made and what they were imprinted on, and when they got first released, how they got tested in a clubbing environment, which was always on vinyl. There was no such thing as digital back in the early 2000s, late 90s. It was just all vinyl, and I think by holding that still up at a high regard, it allows the music to stay as true as possible to what it was made to be. Saying that, playing vinyl, you have to be on basically the whole time, because you're constantly having to get it right, where with digital there's a lot of forgiveness in there. Don't get me wrong, I still play digital every now and then, but when I'm digging and searching for tunes, I'm always digging for vinyls. At the moment, that might change depending on cost of living, because it's becoming a lot more expensive to buy bulk vinyls from Europe and other countries like Japan, which, say, even 2 years ago was quite cheap to buy because of the shipping costs. If you just bought a whole heap of them, it would be quite cheap, but nowadays that's changing a lot. So it's you never know. I might have a limited time to it, so we'll see if we keep doing it.
More travelling.
Yeah, more travelling to buy vinyl, because it makes it a lot cheaper.
What's one track you're especially excited to play through the Wax sound system that just doesn't hit the same over online radio?
I'll give you two. They're both from the same record. 2007, Metalheadz brought out a compilation. I think it's MDZ4. And on the compilation there's a whole series of tracks from different artists from that time. The record hasn't come yet. It should be arriving today. But I've been waiting to be able to buy it for a long period of time, just saving up some money. And the first track is 16 Stories, and it's by Seba and a few other artists. Seba's one of my favourite artists. He's still producing really sick, minimalistic, gritty drum and bass and jungle. The 16 Stories one has a singer, and I forgot the name of the singer, but it's almost like hip hoppy, soulful rap in a sense, while singing at the same time, over this beat that's just super crisp, minimal, and the snare on it just hits really hard. So I reckon on a big sound system, especially Wax, where it's tuned perfectly for vinyl, it'll hit a lot better than going through a computer on the radio station. And then the second track on the same record label, actually give me a second, I'll have a look at my phone, I forgot the name of it. It's by Gremlins and Stranger, that's right. It's called Tings, and once again same record, and this is just rolling jungle, almost onto the side of kind of like stripped back breakbeat kind of elements to it, very beat boppy. But it's just like 7 minutes of just really sick rolling groove that doesn't really drop, it just like has a nice little journey within it, and it uses the synths within the track to create a lot of atmosphere, which I reckon, once again on the sound system, having those highs just nice and crisp coming through would be beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. If you could teleport the crowd back to any specific year in the jungle scene, which year would you choose and why?
If I could teleport myself back to myself and the crowd, like I'm only 30 or nearly 30, and the jungle scene started, early 90s, so basically when both of us were born. So it's, I'd reckon like early 2000s, 2001, 2002, popping over to like Bristol or London, and being able to see like the OGs play, even going to like an original Goldie event, when he brought out Inner City, an incredible single from Timeless, which is to this day probably one of the best ever, and probably still is, the best ever jungle record that's ever been made. If you could go to like the release party of that, we'd be fucked. We're absolutely fucked. I think everyone would just like have a different perception on what it is, and the meaning of the music. Like a lot of those artists back then, and still to this day, they don't call themselves producers, they're composers, because they're sonically so in tuned to creating the right elements within a track, that it takes away from I'm a producer. It's no, I'm creating an experience for you like an orchestra, and being able to see that firsthand in early 2000s would be fun. Yeah.
Good answer. What was the moment you knew you wanted to dedicate yourself to jungle and drum and bass?
Oh, that's a good question as well. You've done you're making me think here.
That's the
Too
point.
early to think. I used to be a house DJ. I used to love minimal house, still do to this day. Minimal house, UKG. However, through my whole childhood, I used to always listen to D&B and jungle, basically through playing my PSP, a little PlayStation Portable, which I had like lots of like FIFA games and Need for Speed, and on those games they had some of the best ever track lists of proper jungle and D&B, like DJ Markey, Caliber, Goldie, as I was talking about before, Groove Rider, and Fabio. And from then, as a young kid, I would have been like 6 to 10 when I first got the console and started playing these games and listening to this music. I was like, damn, this sounds really cool. As a young kid would be, you don't know how to describe whatever that sound is, you just know you like it. But naturally, being in Melbourne, being young, the avenues for jungle, drum and bass isn't as accessible as it was for house music and techno. So I got kind of more into that realm of things. And I'd say would it be around 2017, 18, I decided to pivot and just kind of go more down the collecting route of jungle and drum and bass, purely because I wanted to relive those moments in my childhood and find those tracks that were so special for me back then, and then be able to play them forever by having it in my hands. So yeah, around like 2017, 2018, I just went, okay, I'm not going to delve into as much house collecting or UKG collecting, and I'm just going to go more into your jungle, drum and bass. And then even nowadays, I'm looking through jungle and drum and bass, I've found a big love for left field and broken beat music, which works really well with D&B and jungle. So it's kind of like expanded out my horizons as well. It's not just, okay, I'm just looking for jungle, D&B. It's, I want to highlight sick music from all different genres, but just having that kind of mantra of having a very minimal minimalistic approach to the music, not overproduced, super clean, and just let the elements do their thing. Yeah.
So the PSP games had some pretty good soundtracks.
Yeah, I've still got it, man. I've still got the PSP, and I still whip it out every now and then. FIFA Street 2, hands down, has the best ever soundtrack of any game that I've ever played. Saying that, I haven't played as a lot of games. I was more of a sporty kid. But yeah, FIFA Street 2, just go on Spotify, listen to that track list, and you go, man, shit back then was so good. I think I was around 2006.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you describe to us what is happening in this photo?
I can, unfortunately I can. There's so much going on in that photo, man. So, I am an accredited exercise physiologist, which means, if you have never heard of that before, I'm like a physio, however we deal with chronic management with people with chronic diseases and disabilities. That doesn't describe this photo, this is just a context of this whole thing. If any of my workplaces or even if my organisation that I am accredited to see this photo, I would probably lose my accreditation because it's a mismanagement of my skills. But New Year's a couple of years ago, we had about 60 to 70 people, and myself and mate Tristan, who's an unbelievable DJ, trance, goa, psy kind of elements, and really, really good producer in those fields, and also ambient music. We had the idea of, at the end of his 3-hour set, do half an hour of cooked mobility, where everyone got around me on the plinth. I originally wasn't going to do it up on a podium, but the podium was there, so I was like, I may as well. Which then also led to me taking my pants off for some reason. I had my funky trunks on underneath from my swimming days. I don't know why I took my pants off. Maybe just to get a bit more mobility. But I had shorts on, so it doesn't really exempt the fact. And we got everyone down on the floor doing mobility and strength, body weight strength work, specific for being the third day of a big party where we'd been dancing for 3 days, and your body naturally gets stiff through your lower back, stiff through your hips, and it was all just about finding space and being very present in your own body at like 2 a.m, with Tristan playing really sick ambient music, to us then just moving and shaking. There were a few things that happened in the session that I'm not happy of, because I took my pants off and some things exposed themselves, just had to quickly fix. You can keep this out, I'll cut this if you want.
It's barely hidden in this photo.
Barely hidden, but I made sure I was quick to the fact. And even towards the end, I got Tristan to put on a song that I'd heard on PBS, that was by Harold the Giraffe, who used to come to us at school and teach us about sex ed, driving safely, all those side of things in primary school. And the song was all your body needs is sunshine, good food, fresh water. All your body needs is sunshine, fresh water, exercise, and good food every day. All your body needs. And for some reason I thought everyone knew it, so I got up on the mic and Tristan brought it in and I was like, everyone sing! And I was the only person singing the song. It's really fucking catchy when you hear it. But when we do it again this year, I'm putting the song back on again and everyone will sing.
Everyone will remember.
Damn right they will. It was a lot of fun. I actually think I might pitch this to festivals, like bigger festivals, because it made everyone feel super fucking nice, and it was like a good way to bring people together. Even though you'd been partying for a couple of days, it's a different way to connect with people, while in that realm of, you know, having a good time and connecting. This allowed you to kind of really come back to yourself, listen to your body, and see, kind of feel what you needed in that moment.
It felt amazing after, dancing after this session.
Yeah, it was like you had a fucking 10 hours, 12 hours sleep, and you're straight back into it again. And no, we kicked on till like 7, 8 in the morning, and literally no one went to bed because they were feeling good, I think.
Maybe it's the nuts.
Yeah, exactly right.
What was your inspiration for the Exit Speed merch being printed by Good Ideas on the night?
I'd seen what you've done with Good Ideas and what Good Ideas have done in the past with pop-ups and events and things like, I used to go to VU to where I studied, and then you did quite a lot of work in the last couple of years with VU, printing tote bags and things for students there, and it's a really cool way to, once again, like bring people together and to kind of vibe with something. They're like, hey, I went to this and I'm going to represent it. So for me, I think it was a natural process. We've been talking about merch from the very get-go, but then involving it to printing on the night is a completely different aspect to a lot of club nights and shows at the moment, and potentially just has a little bit of a different point of view where you can go, hey, I'm going to this show, it's going to cost me $20 and I'm going to get a t-shirt as well, it's going to cost me $20 for that. And that's it's a pretty cool way to say, hey, this is where I was on the 3rd of May, and you get to rep it for as long as the t-shirt lasts. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to spin this back onto you. What did you think was your inspiration for the same idea?
Yeah, I think what you said, just adding an element of something that's interactive to an event that maybe wouldn't have that, and also making t-shirts is fun.
Yeah.
Like I love just whipping out the heat press and going to town on it. People have fun with it. Like even having other people come in and let them print in their own t-shirt. I know everyone really likes it, especially when they are a bit wonky or a little bit off, and you know you've done it yourself. It feels unique and special. And then I think this one, with it being on the side of the shirt as well, which we haven't done before, I think will be pretty cool as well.
Yeah. I've had a few tees that I've found in Savers that have had like prints on the side and on the back on the side, which has been a lot different to just the middle or the pocket. And I think it's a nice point of difference where you can wear this as just a nice blank tee, but then just have a little touch of something kind of vibey.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of tucked away, but then when people say, oh, okay, that's a little bit different, which is, and that's the whole mantra, the whole process of what we're doing is just a little bit different.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
What's your hope for Exit Speed moving forward?
Purely, I just want to meet as many people as I can who have the same interest as me, in terms of music, in terms of way of living, in terms of even just design work, and I'd love to just connect to as many people as possible. That was the whole idea for the show. Myself, when you get to know me, I'm a very chatty person, but putting myself out there and taking risks for things is something that I think I struggle with a lot, and I think maybe a lot of people struggle with as well, like putting yourself out there, being like, hey, I want to do this. Do you guys vibe with this? Or not necessarily do you guys vibe with this, but hey, this is something I'm doing. Come along for the ride, in a sense. And so far, I've met some really fucking sick people, and I've given opportunities to people through design work, through our posts for the monthly shows, that have kind of every time they whip up a new design, like at the moment I've got Zootism, a tattoo artist in Melbourne, who's done a few tats on me and some of our crew, and when I approached him, hey man, can you help me out and do some design work for the shows, he was so stoked, because it's something different. As being a tattoo artist, like yes, he's working with the body a lot as the canvas, but then this has given him a little bit of rein to do something else. And then working with you guys last year and all your different contractors to whip up the designs was really sick to see what each individual creative could whip up. And then from there, it's kind of like, okay, next year let's just see what happens. Maybe we get another designer in, or we work all together as a team. To be honest, I'd like to do shows maybe like multiple times a year. We've had a chat about at the start of the year, at the end of the year, to kind of kick it off and then close it all in. I'd love, my biggest goal outside of my working life is to get on PBS and to have a regular show on PBS and have that ongoing for years, either weekly or a monthly show. I think what community radio and local radio does for the scene, particularly here in Melbourne, is the best in Australia and nearly the best in the world. We are so lucky to have people giving up their time each week to highlight and showcase their passion through their music, no matter what genre of music it is. And I think if I could one day get on PBS and represent Exit Speed on there, to get it to a bit of a broader audience and have the ability to have internationals who are coming out to jump on the show, would be incredible. There's some shows on there at the moment that I listen to religiously. Like, I don't miss a show. Even if I'm working or we're traveling, I'll listen back over the recording, because once again, the effort that these selectors put in to their shows are incredible. And I think moving forward, that would be a really, really cool thing to be able to represent. Like, the whole idea was not necessarily to get gigs from it as a DJ. It's more just meeting people. The more people I can meet, the bigger the community gets. The more stoked I become, because I know that there's people I can trust, and that I can, if I want to go out to an event, there'll be someone there waiting for me that I can have a sick time with. So that's the hopes for Exit Speed. Yeah.
Sick. Love it.
Okay.
That's the end.
The end. The end.
Anything else you want to say, or?
Get down this Saturday the 3rd of May to Wax Music Lounge underneath Wax Museum. It's in Flinders Street. Literally, as you walk out of Flinders Street, you go straight in front. You're in the stairs, away you go. It'll be a really sick night. I've got my really good mates, Pace Notes, who I've met through music and through DJing. They're unbelievable junglists. So we're going to be creating a bit of a yin and yang vibe. 5 hours of back-to-back all night, all records. Them bringing their atmospheric, hard-hitting jungle, and myself bringing more of the soulful, saying that their music's soulful as fuck, soulful kind of minimalistic D&B, and kind of merging it together, and we'll just see how it works. Yeah, we're the two boys and myself and yourself, Mikey, we're all really stoked to bring this together. So I can hope as many people can get down there as possible. Get your tickets.
Get a t-shirt.
Get tickets and get a t-shirt. They're going to be hot off the press, so you'll be able to rep it on the night as well, which would be nice.
Maybe give us a little twirl.
Little twirl.
Nice.
Big vibes.
Big
sick,
vibes.
Sick teas.
See? Easy. Easy done.
Well done. Good work.
I'm going to edit this thing.
There's a lot of arms in there.
Jump up with the rhythm!
It's been a long time, I shouldn't have left you. Could be done, but only I can do it. For those that can dance and clap your hands to it. I start to think, and then I sink into the paper like I was ink. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the lines. I
Hey man, don't crush it.
When I finish the rhyme, I got soul.
Keep it.